pro boxing fans here in Riyadh with Jeff Powell, MBE of the Daily Mail. First of all, Jeff, we're here for another big one.
Yeah.
How are you? How's things?
Yeah, good. It's cold. I couldn't believe it when I got off the plane at 3:30 Sunday morning, and I suddenly realised I hadn't bought the big overcoat and the fur hat and the gloves, which was a bit of a shock. So, but it has just snowed in Saudi Arabia for the first time ever. It's ever recorded, yeah. So it's not all sort of heat and sun and sitting by the pool, folks.
Well, we're here, and it is a fantastic setting that we're in. We're at the runway, the Boulevard runway. We're surrounded by aeroplanes. If obviously Turkey Al Sheikh wants to do something big, they do make sure they do it big in Riyadh, and it is fantastic. But it is worthy of such a big fight in a rematch between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. I do want your thoughts on this fight, and I do want to talk about the first fight first of all, Jeff.
Yes.
A lot of people had that very close. In your eyes, what do you believe won it for Usyk?
The ninth round, which was spectacular, and I guess should be scored a 10-8 round, because it was a knockdown, but it was a standing count, and I think that gave him the edge in the eyes of the judges. Personally, I scored it a draw.
In regards to this fight, what do you believe can happen in this fight? There's a narrative that plays out that after a big first loss, it's very hard to win that second fight. Or do you believe that Tyson Fury has come through enough adversity and enough losses that he is going to win this fight?
Well, in history, people have come back and won second fights. Evander Holyfield, Muhammad Ali. It's not unknown. The difference is this went the full 12 rounds without either of them really dominating. So it's still open. I think the issue is who learned the most from this fight. Tyson will have made adjustments, certainly in his approach to it. He won't be dismissing Mr. Usyk as a fat little sausage again in a hurry, I don't think. He was the one who got bitten. Whether he can adapt, there's a theory that he's putting on a lot of weight and he's going to mauling him and wearing him down. But Usyk is an extremely good mover, so that won't be as easy as it was with Deontay Wilder. What more he can do other than that? He's a great athlete. He's a very fine boxer himself. He may just have to go with what he's got. The difference with Usyk is he's one of the most intelligent fighters we've ever seen. He's an astonishing learner. He goes into fights and he takes 2 or 3 rounds looking at opponents, what he decides what he's going to do with him, what the weaknesses are, and then he goes on strong to win these fights in the end. He did that in the first fight, but now he's already got his learning curve into the end, over 12 rounds. At the start of what will be effectively the 13th round, he will know exactly what he needs to do. And he also said today he knows he's got to be better. So he will have worked on some improvements. He says he's still slightly short of perfection. If he comes out perfect, it's a tough night for Tyson.
Tyson said in the interview with Queensberry yesterday that he's going to look to end Usyk's career. Just off the back of what you're saying, do you feel like this could be a career ending for either fighter, whether they win or lose? Do you reckon you can see one of these fighters just driving off into the sunset?
Well, the money's so huge here, isn't it, in Saudi Arabia? Turkey Al Sheikh, His Excellency, has said that whatever happens with Fury, the big fight with Anthony Joshua will go on, either here or in London out of the Riyadh season at Wembley. Usyk talks about various options. Clearly, if he wins, he's not actually admitted as much, but I think he'll go for Dubois and try to become undisputed again, which would make him even more distinctive in the world of heavyweight boxing. If he loses, he might be tempted to retire. He might be. As a family-loving man, he's very wrapped up intellectually in the war in Ukraine. Although hopefully that might end fairly soon. The slaughter might be over sometime in the new year, once Donald Trump's president. He's perhaps more likely to retire, but he's talked about going down to cruiserweight again. Why not really take all the weight back off and go for light heavyweight? See if he can't become undisputed in 3 divisions. All the others do it coming up. Mayweather, Pacquiao, Leonard and people do something completely different that nobody else is ever going to emulate. Come down in weight and win the undisputed title at light heavyweight. That'd be fun.
Just a final one, talking about Dubois, I was with him on Saturday and I asked him, what's a better fight for you out of this? Who do you want the winner to be and why is it a better fight? He goes, I want Usyk to win because I want to revenge Usyk and beat him this time. Do you feel like the confidence that Daniel has, that he has pushed him up a certain level, that maybe that fight with Usyk second time around, you know, there's a chance of him winning that fight? Because he was close to first fight with the sort of body punch and all the controversy that surrounds it.
Yes, the controversy in my view was a little generated. In my view it was a slightly low punch. You can tell from, it wasn't so much where the punch looked to have physically landed just around the belt line, but the angle it came up at, it came up through the box, and that is quite painful. And so technically, in my view, it was a low blow. My good friend Frank doesn't agree with that, but there we go. So I'm not too sure that Oleksandr is as vulnerable to the body as has been suggested as a consequence of that punch. I know he was hit quite often to the body by Tyson and didn't seem particularly discomforted. There's a theory that uppercuts to the stomach will work. Well, that would involve another flirtation with something between legal and low.
Interesting. I am going to leave it as that, Jeff. I think the day's over. The grand arrival's over. It is 10:30 at night. Thank you very much for your time. We will be speaking to you and seeing you after the fight. Thank you so much for your time, Jeff Powell.
Absolute pleasure as always.
Salman, thank you very much.